Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Clearly, Meghan Markle wants this podcast to go on forever. She keeps feeding the beast daily. Now, she's reportedly going to open hotels. The Duchess of Sussex is reportedly preparing to trademark the as-ever name for hospitality services, signalling plans that could include boutique hotels, restaurants, or temporary lodgings, where guests would experience her curated aesthetic firsthand. According to filings, the trademark could cover the provision of food and drink alongside overnight accommodations, potentially offering guests an immersive experience featuring as-ever products and dishes inspired by Meghan's Netflix series With Love, Meghan. While the Duchess has not confirmed specifics, she has spoken publicly about her passion for hosting, once sharing that one of her favorite activities is prepping guest rooms with sweet touches to make them feel at home. PR and branding strategist Jack Izzett of Gallia Communications weighed in on the move, telling The Sun she's very much positioning herself as a star hostess, Californian royalty who makes her guests feel welcome. However, he cautioned that hospitality is a completely different skill set, noting, "A night in as-ever B&B will be several £100. That's really going to blow up if it's bad." The Duchess has remained silent on the hotel rumours, but recently teased fans with news of an upcoming restock on the brand's Instagram account, writing, "To all who've been wondering and waiting, thank you. Your favourites are returning, plus a few new things we can't wait to show you. Coming this month. Get excited." In The Sun, Jenny Bond writes, "The reports that Meghan is now seeking to trademark future ventures in the hospitality sector for her as-ever brand suggest she's now fully invested in life as an influencer and entrepreneur. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it has absolutely nothing to do with being royal. Marrying Prince Harry fired her into global fame, and now she wants to capitalize on it. Somebody has to fund their Californian lifestyle, and Harry claims he has been financially cut off by his family. After almost obsessive secrecy about their children and their home life, Meghan is now bombarding her growing band of social media fans with updates of what she, Harry, and the kids have been up to. Meghan, how about dropping the Duchess nonsense in the HRH, which you are no longer entitled to use? Be independent and successful. Make your as-ever brand bigger than ever on your own. You are an independent woman with a husband who adores you. Just because he's a prince doesn't mean you have to hang on to the idea of being a princess." The Daily Mail made our day with an analysis of Lilibet's birthday cake, a pastel-hued birthday cake adorned with an Ariel figurine, Disney's famous red-haired mermaid, perched regally atop the confection. While to most this might appear a charming nod to a children's classic, others believe it harks back to one of Meghan's most memorable public comparisons, likening herself to Princess Ariel during her 2021 sit-down with Oprah Winfrey. In that explosive interview, Meghan revealed that she saw striking parallels between her own journey and that of the Little Mermaid, saying, "I was sitting in Nottingham Cottage and the Little Mermaid came on and I went, oh my God, she falls in love with the prince and because of that she loses her voice." She then pointedly added, "But in the end, she gets her voice back." As one fan wrote online, "It's not just a cake, it's a reminder that she told us her story and she's still writing the next chapter." Poor Harry is said to be turning into Uncle Edward as he lives out his days in California with seemingly few friends. Sources close to the Duke reportedly call him desperately lonely. One source said he doesn't really have any real friends in the area except for fellow polo player Nacho Figueres, and Nacho travels constantly for polo matches, one friend told the outlet. He is still very close with the band of brothers who were at his wedding, particularly Guy Pelly and Mark Dyer, but they live in England and the time zones are so different it's very hard to talk regularly. And again, there is no one for him to hang out with in person besides Nacho when he is in town or Meghan and the children. He spends a lot of time chilling with his bodyguards. A source quoted by People magazine suggested Harry has one foot in the past, to which friends simply replied, "Of course he does. He spent his entire life in England with family and friends before Megxit. It's hard to forge deep friendships with people when you're older, especially if you're wary they may speak to the press." "It's like history repeating itself," said one friend, drawing comparisons to Edward VIII, who became the Duke of Windsor after abdicating the throne to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson. The former king became estranged from his family, living out his days in France and occasionally visiting the United States. The Duke and Duchess of Windsor lived largely on the fringes of high society, popular with a set of well-heeled outsiders and opportunists, but maintained a studious silence on matters royal. The Sussexes, you may have noticed, have been far more public. More Palace in just a moment. King Charles received a warm Lancashire welcome and a nip of nostalgia as he made his first official visit to the county since ascending the throne. The monarch, who also holds the title Duke of Lancaster, met with cheering crowds, schoolchildren, local business owners, and one unforgettable centenarian. Among those he greeted was 101-year-old D-Day veteran Richard Brock, whom the king recognised from a previous visit to Normandy. "You are fantastic," Charles told him at a reception at Lancaster Castle before offering a jovial health tip. "Keep drinking whiskey." The king arrived at the Lancaster railway station via the royal train, where he was received by the Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, Amanda Parker. From there, His Majesty proceeded to Lancaster Castle to take part in the ancient ceremony of the keys, a tradition that dates back to 1851, when the castle's keys were first presented to Queen Victoria. Queen Elizabeth II last participated in the ceremony in 2015. Pupils from Willow Lane Primary School had the honour of greeting the king at the castle, while local secondary school students from Ripley, St. Thomas and Lancaster Gold's Grammar lined the route, serenaded by a military band. Among the onlookers were Lancaster University students Matthew Lamb and Daniel Kirk, who described themselves as very proud royalists and said they had come to share their pride in the royal family. But not everyone was waving Union Jacks. As the King's motorcade arrived, anti-monarchy protesters held up yellow banners reading, "Abolish the monarchy," and chanted, "Not my king." Signs bearing messages like "Ditch the duchies" were visible as the crowd voiced its dissent. Undeterred, the king went on to meet local business representatives, including Gillian Hale from Butler's Farmhouse Cheeses, a known aficionado of fine food. His Majesty revealed his fondness for sheep's cheese on a digestive biscuit, though he only had a sniff of the wares on display, not a taste. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. By the way, we have a new show out at the moment from Calaroga Shark Media called Feuds, about the greatest feuds of all time. And it kicks off with one of the biggest right now between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Check out Feuds. Power, Pride, Payback, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.